All right, guys, I am back. Dee Williams here in the building. And today, our conversation is all about AI. It's all about AI and staffing. And today, we are going to be talking about some very amazing things. I think you remember me a few weeks ago talking about how the new staffing is about workforce solutions, right? And building your AI workforce is where the future of staffing is going, right? Placing humans, having someone who is actually um, who knows AI that you can place, and then people who can actually manage AI, or you're building your own AI. We're going to dive all into it. Anthropic dropped this paper that talked about the state of where jobs are going. We're going to dive so much into it. Are y'all ready? Come on, let's go.
This is your moment, this is your life. 'Cause empires rise where ideas ignite. This is your moment, this is your life.
Okay, so listen, the whole Anthropic piece definitely got me fired up this week because, the conversation that I've been having the most is around jobs and around AI and what's actually happening in this space. And it was a piece that took Twitter by storm, Twitter X, okay, X, all of us, our text, we were like, what's going on? So I'm going to share that with you today. We're going to dive into that. And then we're also going to talk about your staffing agency business, where you are in this market right now. Are you going in the right direction? Should you be pivoting? What's going to be your competitive advantage in 2026, 2027, and beyond? Because AI is here, it's here to stay, and jobs are actually shifting. Now, in great Dee Williams fashion, I've got a presentation. This time, I just want to mention this is the time typically during the week that we meet as a group and we talk about how our staffing agency business is evolving and what's going on in the industry. And so today we're going to get into that. Let me share my screen here. First, before I go into my presentation, I actually want to give you a sneak peek into the article that Anthropic released. Okay, so I'm going to start off by sharing that with you. Here it is. So, labor market impacts of AI, a new measure and early evidence. So, this just came out on March 5th, so a couple of days ago. And they talked the article in detail. I'm going to just make it a little bit bigger. It went in detail and talked about what's the future of work based on AI, right? And it talked mainly about the displacement of jobs, of white collar jobs, of entry level jobs, but this is the displacement of jobs. And I will put the link in the chat for everyone here. You can definitely feel free to go through and read the paper in detail. I'm not going to do that here today because I've kind of simplified it for you and made it relatable to exactly what you're doing here with your staffing business. But I've got to talk a little bit about the everyone is talking about it, right, on Twitter X, and they posted these charts that kind of showed exactly what things are going to look like. And so today we're going to go into it. I've saved some of those charts. I've got a presentation for you. I just wanted to let you know where it was and how to get there. I hope you're fired up. Let's dive into this because the reality is that AI replaced you already. And we're talking about what Anthropic reports, what their report means for staffing agencies. I know most of my clientele are in the healthcare space, so I definitely threw something in there for you, but it's for staffing agencies in general, okay? So you already know the deal. I'm Dee Williams, founder of Staffingpreneurs Academy, been around for a very long time. I definitely have become a healthcare staffing expert become a compliance expert in the staffing space. I'm an AI business builder, educator. My goal is to help entrepreneurs launch their own business. Today, we're talking about launching your own staffing business, but to launch your own business and to launch a business that fits you, your personality, your style, your swag, right? And that will actually scale, generate revenue, and create a legacy for you and your family, especially during these crazy times, right? And then I am known for helping to build the future of workforce and AI. That is what I am playing in. I've been gone for 30 days. Y'all will not believe the things that I've accomplished over the last 30 days. I cannot wait to share with you with my AI agents. You're going to go crazy when you see it, but we'll get into that later. That's a whole nother conversation. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about what we're covering today. You can feel free to comment in the chat. I'd love to hear your comments. As a matter of fact, I'm going to pull you up on my phone so I can make sure that if I see any comments coming across, then I can catch it for you. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Yes. Okay. So you can definitely, and make sure you like this video, thumbs up this video, and share this video. Please, we're covering a lot of great information. Now, let's see what we're covering today. The wake-up call. Anthropic's report, like the data that you should care about and that should excite you. The gap. Why capability versus adoption is the whole story. Healthcare, what nurses, agencies, and healthcare workers need to know right now. Technology, the junior pipeline collapse and the orchestration opportunity. Sales, why relationships are the last human moats. Blue collar and data centers, the ironic winners of the AI revolution, and the staffing play. How agencies become the most important business in AI. Come on with it. You know, I got to be fired up today, y'all, right? Okay, so this is your wake up call. Anthropic just told you exactly what jobs Claude is coming for. And I got to tell y'all, I have canceled my Chat GPT membership. Claude is my new boyfriend, so get over it. All right. Now, what happened? Let me tell you the full background. Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude AI, just published a labor market impact study, right? And it's not a think piece. It's not a prediction. It's real data on what AI can actually automate today. Now, they showed exactly what jobs are exposed, who's most at risk, and where the gap is between what AI can do versus what companies are actually doing now. The most confident flex in tech history is what a gentleman, and I'm quoting everybody from Twitter X. So if you're watching on X, shout out Jarvis, okay? So this is what they published. This is Anthropic's labor market impact report. Craziness, okay? Now, this is all supposed to be theoretical AI capability versus observed usage, but I can't say that this was the best idea in how to present this data with this type of graph. And if you go into X, you'll see that a lot of people have been talking about how should this graph have actually come across. And I do have a couple other versions that I'll show you here in a second that may look a little bit different. But basically, this chart is telling you where the market is going and how AI is covering the market, right? So this is the observed AI coverage. And I'm going to show you because this one, again, is crazy. Now y'all got me really getting in here. I should have pulled these out in a second ago, but I spent a lot of time yesterday going through like all the different charts that everyone was talking about. So let's go through and I'm going to show you here so you can see it a little bit different because the way this is structured, I'm not going to tell you a story. It is structured in a way that is a little bit challenging to understand and see. Okay. Let's see. I think, hold on 1 second. I just airdropped it to myself. So let's do it in downloads. Okay, perfect. Now let me show you what these look like from a different perspective. Okay. I'm going to pull these. Maybe I should just pull it out like right here. So let's see if you can see this. Okay, great. This is so much better. Here are two different ways. Luckily, our Twitter X family came to bat for us. Okay. They was like, no, we don't understand what you're saying. This looks crazy, this bar chart. So this was the original radar chart. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here if you can see. Here at the bottom was the original radar chart that we were just looking at on the presentation. And as you can see, someone said Anthropic should have just made it a bar chart, right? So computer and math, like this is the theoretical AI coverage of job tasks versus observed AI coverage. So the red is the observed AI coverage. Here, as you can see, their own job cover measured. And then the blue is the theoretical AI coverage, which is the share of job tasks that LLMs could theoretically perform. So it was really interesting because you can see computer and math AI has pretty much dominated completely, as you can see here, and what they can do. Office admin, business finance, management, legal, arts and media, and then you see the numbers kind of go down where you start getting into healthcare practitioners. I know all of my healthcare people are like, yes, right? And then social services, social services, healthcare support, transportation, production, protective service, installation, repair, personal care, construction. So when you start getting into the more manual labor work, that's where you start to see less AI coverage, right? And more humans are working in those areas where you see more of the blue bars, where there's a lot of it, that's way more AI coverage. This is where work is going to actually be replaced in a lot of instances. This is where you see a lot of employers actually, moving their roles. So I'm going to share a couple of more charts that were shared online just to give you different perspectives, because our brains all work very differently. But here you see, this is just another bar graph that shows you how the AI coverage that's coming. Let me just see, because I made it big, so it looked a little funky there, but let's see. So this was, this is getting really good. I'm going to show you a few more just so you can see. Again, they're showing you the bars. And then this one is very interesting because it shows you the amount of workers that essentially, could potentially be impacted. 5.4 million workers here, 11.3 million workers, 19.3 million workers. That's huge, right? So all of these are just different examples of essentially how you can look at this chart and essentially what's happening in the market right now. So this is where, like I said, it's getting a little crazy out here. So we got to be ready for just what's going on in your business. Okay. Next thing we want to talk about. Because I got ahead of myself, because y'all know I already do. But the chart, what I just stated, was what we can actually automate right now today. Red zone, what companies are actually using AI for. The gap between them and us is enormous. It's not closing, it's waiting to snap shut. So look at this. This is by occupation, theoretical capability, observed usage. So they're showing social bot services, teacher bots, medical bots, personal assistant bots, construction bots, farm bots. This is what AI agents are doing. And it shows here that the most exposed occupation, as we stated earlier, computer programmers, customer service representatives. And when we say computer programmers, we're talking about people who are actually coding. Okay. I feel like coders I don't feel like they're going to go away because there's a spike actually in hiring developers, but programmers specifically, I feel like they're just going to be used more for managing and reviewing the code versus hardcore computer programming like back in the day. We already can kind of see customer service rep is pretty much going away. I mean, everything you call or look at, it's an AI bot answering. Same with data entry, medical records specialists, market research analyst and marketing specialists, sales representatives, wholesale manufacturing, except technical and scientific products. So technical and scientific sales is still hot on fire. Somebody saying, Dee, What type of agency should I start today? Technical sales staffing. I had 3 people last year call in and say this was their idea. They were going to do tech sales and then they never moved forward. And this is a time where I feel like if you're doing something beyond healthcare, it needs to be tech sales needs to be at the top of the list in regards to either starting an occupation in technical sales and or staffing in the technical sales space, right? If you're not in the healthcare, everybody doesn't have to be in healthcare. If you're not in healthcare, staff, technical salespeople, they're 100% needed. You've got information security. Oh, I'm sorry. Financial and investment analysts, software quality assurance analysts and testers, information security analysts, and computer user support specialists. So these are the most exposed occupations that are going to get hit and hit hard, over the next couple of years. Now, 74.5% of computer programmer tasks can be automated. This is the number one most exposed occupation. This is not theoretical, it is observed, okay? All right, no point. Now, negative 14% entry level hiring has dropped since Chat GPT launched. A lot of people don't know that. But for the highest risk jobs, companies don't fire anymore. They just stop posting. Okay. They didn't fire you. They stopped hiring. You won't get a pink slip anymore. The role simply just won't exist. And this is from somebody on Twitter. The quiet part of this report, that's what they're saying. That's what he said. He was saying the quiet part of this report is that they're not going to, fire you. They're just going to stop hiring. It's terrible. Now, who's most at risk? So, and in regards to workers, right, we're in the demographics and the education and the labor market. And source comes directly from Anthropic. And he talks about the differences between high and low exposure workers. As you can see, people who have no exposure to AI coverage, right, to the top, it's a 38%. It's a 38-point difference. Right. And then the age gap. I mean, this is not my area of expertise, but it's just giving you a landscape to kind of let you know who's actually tapping into AI, why, when and at what age gap. Whites 54.4%, white non-Hispanic, Black Hispanic 13%, Asian 4.7%. So that's saying these are the people who have no exposure versus the top quartile there. So that's very important. And just to lay it in, 4 times college grads are more likely to be displaced, right? 10.45 higher hourly wages are exposed in jobs. 54.4% female workers are top exposed, and 23.8 more bachelors hold an exposed group. I don't like my presentation is like all my numbers move, so that threw me off. I don't like that. But essentially, these are the workers that are most at risk. If you're a college grad, you're more likely to be displaced. I'm sure you're probably like, what the heck, Dee? But it's true. If you're a college grad, you're more likely to be displaced. That's crazy. If you have a high hourly wage, you're more likely to be displaced. If you're a female worker, you're more likely to be exposed. And more bachelor's degrees. If you're in a bachelor's degree, you're more likely to be at risk with AI. The better educated, the higher paid white collar workforce is the bullseye. That's the target. Meanwhile, bartenders, lifeguards, and trades are safe for now. Now, you might be saying, Dee, should I quit my job and become a bartender or a lifeguard? I'm not telling you to do that, but I do want you to understand that the market is changing. For a very long time, it was like blue collar workers bad, quote unquote, white collar workers great, you make more money. And it's about to change now. Now it's more like white collar workers bad, blue collars. So it just kind of flipped. Not to say white collars aren't going to be able to be successful or anything like that. I would never say that. You just got to take a shift. A big shift is coming. That's what we're talking about today. What do you know? So this gentleman here, or I don't know, person on Twitter X, 514V3R shout out, said the real shift isn't mass layoffs. It's companies quietly not hiring anymore. That hits new grads way harder than people already inside. Weird world when bartenders feel safer than analysts. LOL. So people are starting to gripe, come with the, understand that, things are different. Here's another X person from X. Shout out to Applewise-AI. Programmers adapt by building with AI, not against it. The real shift is orchestration roles. I like how that sounds. One more folk we have here from X World Warlord AI. Shout out. The gap between the blue and red is exactly why people still think AI is hype. They haven't seen what happens when you actually let the agents run. Corporate lag is the only thing saving some of these roles right now. I tend to think corporate lag is literally the only thing saving roles right now. So I definitely agree with you right there. And Crawfax on X said customer service is going to get so much better with all these new bartenders entering the market. Why do I agree with that? Oh my gosh. So shout out over there. So let's talk a little bit about the gap here, right? We're going to talk about capability versus adaptation, why the real story is in the space between. And this is for you. So it's not a skill issue. It's not an adaptation issue. All models are capable. We're talking about AI models. All models are capable of automating most knowledge work today, period. What's holding it back? Slow company adoption, legal and regulatory friction, and leadership hesitation. But the second one competitor adopts and undercuts everyone 10x. And hold on one second, because my presentation here cut off, and I want to make sure that I can see. Hold on, that really irritates me. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna have to move this up a little bit because I want to be able to see everything, because I took really great notes. There we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. Let's see. There we go. But the second one competitor adopts and undercuts everyone 10 times. The rest panic overnight. It won't be gradual, but it'll be a cliff. And this was very important because right now people are freaking out versus staying focused on what we really need to do, which is to adapt to AI and to help other companies adapt into AI as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about early signals of AI impact, right? Jobs displacement. We're saying they are predicting 9%. This is jobsdata.ai did these 17 predictions. So you can go and check that out at jobsdata.ai. But they did 17 predictions, 298 sources. They believe that job displacement is going to be about 9% of US jobs by 2030. And the median wage impact is going to be negative 2.5%. And AI adoption is going to be 40% by companies, 40% of companies by 2027. That's huge, actually. And then earnings call mentioned 61% of S&P 500 companies. And then this is a paradox, though. I mentioned this earlier, that the software engineering postings are up. They're rapidly rising. And if you're looking at the graphic that Anthropic put out, and you tie that to these software engineering postings that are out, it doesn't add up, right? It's like, how is this happening? But if you can see right here on Indeed and overall job postings, they're actually increasing. They're not going down as if we're losing jobs as the report mentioned above. So this is where we get into the Javon's paradox. When AI makes something cheaper, companies want more of it, not less. So let's talk about what's dying. Junior developer pipelines, okay? Entry-level coding roles, spec to code translation, route task execution. Those things are out. But what is growing is senior AI focused engineers, right? So if you're in the IT space and you're figuring out, okay, D, how do I transition, or how do I expand, or how do I pivot my staffing agency? If you focus on senior AI focused engineers, you're going to be in a great space, right? AI orchestration roles are going to be very big. And if you're not familiar with this is going to be a term you're going to hear me talk about a lot. Okay. This is very important. AI agent, AI environment architects. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. And then human AI workforce designers. Companies aren't hiring fewer engineers, they're hiring different types of engineers. And if you're not playing with AI right now, what's growing, it's going to bypass you immediately. Now, let me ask you, or the question I rather you would probably be asking is like, okay, D, so what do we do? And I want to talk about where the opportunity is industry by industry. Okay. So let's get into healthcare first. This is the biggest opportunity hiding in plain sight. Now, y'all know that I can't do this presentation without talking about healthcare, being as though the majority of my clients are in healthcare. I have mostly doctors, lawyers, nurse practitioners, physicians assistants, lots of registered nurses, LPNs, LVNs, CNAs, mainly RNs, MDs, NPs, that's mainly my market, and administrators, right? Healthcare administrators. I have a lot of healthcare administrators under my belt on my clientele right now. So healthcare is an opportunity that we all should be talking about and looking at. You already know it's one of the most lucrative industries on the market, but let's talk about the biggest opportunity hiding in plain sight. And let's talk about where healthcare actually sits on the map. So healthcare practitioners equal low exposure, like nurses, CNAs, therapists. Healthcare admins equal high AI exposure, like medical records, data entry, billing. This split is everything for staffing agencies. So in your mind, I know you're saying, okay, D, I'm a nurse, I'm a therapist, I don't have to worry about AI. It's true right now, but don't get too excited because robots are definitely not far away. But in regards to your role and how you're engaging with the patient care, all of that stuff, you're 100% needed. The administrative side of AI, though, of healthcare is definitely high exposure and can be automated. And this is where you really want to dig into your bag and look at the split in a totally different way. So yes, clinical is safe. If you're bedside nursing care, physical patient interaction, complex clinical judgment, emotional patient support, care coordination, compliance, and licensing navigation, you are safe in the healthcare space. However, if you are focusing on medical records, data entry, billing and coding, scheduling and intake, claims processing, report generation, you are AI exposed. Hello. And the agencies that understand both sides of this will win everything. All right. Now, what AI can do in healthcare? It can automate patient intake forms and scheduling, process insurance claims and prior authorizations, generate clinical documentation from voice notes, flag medication interactions and allergy alerts, analyze lab results and radiology scans at speed, handling billing, coding, and denials management, automate compliance reporting and audit prep. All of this is happening right now, not in 5 years. And let me tell you that if you have a healthcare staffing agency right now and you're placing human bodies on the clinical side, you should be thinking about delivering some type of AI software that can cover one or all of these things, so that in the event that you're connecting with a facility that says, hey, I'm not interested in the body, you can still offer the administrative support there, build that relationship, and then ultimately still get your humans in there. And then you'll have your humans and your AI there. And then as the world transitions into robots, then you can go in and place your robots in there. But if you're thinking you've got to wait because healthcare is slow and we've got more years before the industry decides to use AI for these things, no, AI is already doing these things in healthcare right now, and you can still be a part of that as well. Now, what AI cannot do in healthcare, it can't hold a patient's hand during difficult diagnosis. No, it can't physically assess and respond to emergencies at bedside. It can't navigate family dynamics and end-of-life conversations. It cannot build trust with patients who are scared and vulnerable. It can't make split-second clinical judgment calls in real time. It cannot manage the messy human coordination between care teams. It cannot show up at 3 a.m. when a patient codes. This is why clinical healthcare staffing is still gold. Should you still start a staffing agency business in the healthcare space? Hell yeah, 100%. And you can visit staffingpreneursacademy.com if you're interested in having a conversation more about it, what's involved, and making sure that you get your business set up right and compliance. But just know I am going to talk to you about AI and where it's headed and how you do want to integrate it into your healthcare staffing agency business. Now, if you're a nurse watching this, your bedside skills are not being replaced. But here is what's changing, okay? The admin work around your job is being automated, period. Hospitals will need fewer admin staff and more clinical staff. Agencies that can staff clinical roles become more valuable, and your clinical expertise plus AI understanding equals power. Did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that. Your clinical expertise plus AI understanding equals power. Okay. Now let's talk about going from bedside to business. The path from nurse to agency owner in an AI era. This is really big. You already have the expertise. You know what patients need. You know what good care looks like. AI does not and will not. Okay. You know compliance. You know state regulations, licensing, department, DOH requirements, DOL requirements. This is the moat AI can't cross alone. You staff the irreplaceable, clinical workers, hands-on care, the roles AI makes more valuable, not less. And then you add AI to the back end, automate your scheduling, billing, credentialing, run lean, scale fast. So you cannot just, so we're looking at you using AI, not just to offer as a service for your staffing agency, but you're also talking about using AI to help run your staffing agency, to help make your staff, to bring your staffing agency business to life a lot more efficiently, to be able to provide your service a lot better, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about the compliance mode, why healthcare staffing agencies have built in an AI shield. AI can write code, AI can analyze data, AI can draft emails, AI cannot navigate the multi-state licensing requirements alone, pass the DOH audit when they show up unannounced, or DOL, because depending on what country you're in, build the human relationships that regulators require, or bear legal liability for patient outcomes, right? Now, if you own a healthcare staffing agency, you want to keep staffing clinical, nurses, CNAs, therapists. These roles are getting more valuable, not less. But you want to add AI to your own operations, automate scheduling, credentialing, billing, run your agency leaner than your competitors. Then you want to advise your clients. You want to help facilities understand what to automate and where to invest in people. So think about this. This is something that nobody is really talking about. You want to be able to advise your clients. You want to help facilities understand what to automate. That's the administrative side. And then where to invest in people based on what's being automated. That's your clinical side. And then you want to vet your people, your nurses, your workers for AI skills. Even your clinical workers, they need to work alongside AI tools now. right? So same way you would when you're recruiting, you're asking your nurse, you know, do you use Epic? Do you use Cerner? Do you use Allscripts? Now you need to also ask, can you prompt? Can you, you know, do you use AI? What AI platforms do you use? How have you used AI? So now that's yet another thing that you want to add to the pipeline when you're vetting your candidates. And then you want to position yourself as a workforce strategy partner. Now, if you're one of my clients, you already know that I've told you to take the name staffing out of your business, okay? And that you really want to focus yourself more on being a workforce provider. And the reason, there are two reasons that I say that. In the beginning, it was because I could see that companies just weren't answering the phones and emails when they saw staffing in the name, unless they absolutely needed them in that moment. And that created less opportunity for you to engage with employers. You were getting shut out right off the break without even having a chance to have that conversation. But as time went on and AI has just become more evolved, you can see that you're also now going to be integrating AI and robots into your pipeline, into your service offerings, and they are now becoming a part of our workforce, not just here in America, all over the world. So it's not just about staffing anymore, because I feel like staffing is more just about humans. It's more about workforce development, workforce strategy, workforce management, and not just a human workforce, human, AI, and robot workforce in the future, right? So you want to position yourself as a workforce strategist. Stop being just a staffing agency. You really want to become the partner that helps them figure out, how do we make this human plus AI, you know, situation happen? Because really that's the only reason why companies aren't implementing. They don't understand how to make it work in their system. We're back on X, and Ecom Des Jor, shout out, says healthcare seems the obvious winning vocational choice for young people. I agree. Young people, parents should be definitely pushing young people into the healthcare space, but also understanding AI, right? Healthcare bottom line. Clinical work equals safe and getting more valuable. Admin work equals exposed and getting automated. The staffing agencies that understand both sides become the most important partner in healthcare. The compliance moat protects you. Your clinical expertise is the product. Now, let's talk a little bit about technology, because the junior pipeline is collapsing. The orchestration layer is exploding. Hello. Now, there are three levels of AI workers. And what staffing agencies should be vetting for are prompters. These are people who can actually talk to AI, can articulate what they need. They can get quality output from the tools. This is the new baseline skill for every worker from this point going forward. Can you prompt? Can you talk to AI? Now, AI has gotten a lot better from the sense that most people don't know how to prompt. And so it can take in, you know, it can kind of understand and decipher what you're asking, but your output is going to be garbage 9 times out of 10, right? The more you understand how to prompt and how to articulate your thoughts, turn your thoughts into actionable words, the easier it will be for you to prompt, and your output will become much better. You'll get way more quality. Level 2 type of worker is the orchestrator. All right. This is the person that can manage AI workflows. They can QA the outputs, quality assurance, the output that we're getting back from AI. They can coordinate between human work and AI work. These are the people who actually make AI useful. I'm telling you right now, you're probably going to start seeing so many roles of people looking for AI orchestrators. And when I'm listing these three here, I'm not necessarily saying that the job titles will be prompters, orchestrators, and so forth. I'm saying these are the skills that you are going to need and that you need to be valuable in an AI working world. And based on the skill set will define how much money you will make and how secure your job will be. Level 1 is just being able to talk to AI. Level 2 is being able to manage the workflows and the outputs, and to be able to coordinate between humans and AIs and so forth. And then level 3 is where Dee Williams is, and that's an architect. Okay, where you can actually build the environments where agents execute work. You can design the systems, you can create the infrastructure, and the people, you are essentially the people building the future. I'm definitely building the future with AI. I'm in love with it. I'm driving my honey buddy crazy, and I'm probably driving anybody who's talking to me crazy these days, because it's really amazing to see how I have different thoughts and feelings now about AI, actually working with it in an agent form, then working with it from a Claude/Chat GPT form, until you start getting into Claude Code and different things like that in the co-work. But I don't want to get too technical on you right now. I just want to give you the skinny. So I'm telling you this because as you're hiring, you're looking for people who can talk to AI, who can manage AI workflows, and who can build environments. And this should be proven, okay? And you should add these as tags in your applicant tracking system. You need to be updating your interview questions. I don't care what market you're in, even if you're in healthcare, technology, I don't care. You should definitely be updating. Take a screenshot. You need this. I'll take a second so you could take a screenshot. You're welcome. While you're doing that, do me a favor and like this video. Please leave a comment. I'll check all comments at the end, chat. But leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Like, what level are you? Are you a level 1, level 2, level 3? Are you a level 0? I ain't even tapped in yet, D. Let me know. I am definitely interested in learning more. Okay, we're going back to my ex here. Andy Nowajan. I know I messed your name up, Kevin. I apologize. Listen, he says entry-level hiring down 14%, not because the work disappeared, but because companies realized AI can do the execution. What they haven't figured out, AI still can't define what quote unquote done looks like. That's why humans are still going to always be needed. Now, what tech staffing agencies need to do? Stop filling junior development seats the old way. The pipeline is drying up. Don't do that anymore. It's time you got to pivot now if you're doing that. You do want to start placing AI orchestrators, actually people who manage AI workflows. And if you aren't familiar with what an AI orchestrator is, I have a boot camp that I do every month at typically the first week of the month. I have a boot camp that we do, AI business boot camp. Come learn more, get on Twitter X, go do your search. But you need AI orchestrators, I'm telling you right now. You want to vet for prompt ability, right? Can the person talk to AI effectively? Can the person identify candidates who can build AI environments? Can the person advise clients on human plus AI team structure? You know, you've got to be able to position yourself as the agency that understands the new workforce. The old workforce of just placing humans is gone. That's now the past. You remember last year, the last 2 years, I've been talking about this. Well, now that's the past. This is a necessity now. Okay. It's not a game. The agency that can tell a CTO, here's your AI plus human team, wins the contract. Hello. Come on with it. All right. Going back to X Jacobs, STR_ENG_Jake, shout out. I'm a structural engineer. The coordination is 90% of my job. Project managers in construction are idiots. I have to do their job for them. AI can't do their job. So coordination is 90% of the job. I don't agree that project managers in construction are idiots. That's his saying, not mine. But he's saying that as a structural engineer, coordination is 90% of the job. So, you know, AI can't do the project manager's job. So you got to get up, you got to get on board with what's happening right now. I hope this is opening your eyes. This is Ren, the AI. The real story is more nuanced. AI isn't replacing programmers. It's replacing the boring parts of programming. The people most at risk aren't the ones building systems. They're the ones doing rot translation from spec to code. So, you know, in my mind, you know, you should be building the systems if you understand the systems. But if not, you could also place the people who are building the systems. So, you know, be creative in how you want to do your business. Now, I have to bring this up because last year, as I mentioned earlier, I got so many people who reached out to me and said, Dee, I want to start a staffing agency business. I'm not really sure what I want to do in it, or I think I want to do it in sales, or I'm starting to think if AI and technology is here, then sales has to be the way to go. And let me just tell you, relationships are the last human moat, period. But the support layer is getting automated. And I think that's a good thing. All right. So, sales, the human edge, safe, period. That's the only thing I should be saying. Safe. Okay. Enterprise B2B sales, safe. Complex deal negotiation, totally safe. Client relationship management, come on, safe. In-person presentations, let's go, safe. Trust building and emotional intelligence, safe, safe, safe. Reading the room, literally super safe. This is the human edge. If you're in sales, your job is safe. If you're running a sales staffing agency, smart business. If you're looking to start a staffing agency and you're trying to figure out where to go in and you don't want to go into healthcare, sales is where you want to go, where you want to be. It's going to be very, very, very beneficial for you. Say hello. Come on with it. Now, let's talk about what's exposed, though. Market research. We don't need market researchers anymore in the way that we used to. We still need a market researcher to lead AI into what type of market research is needed, but we wouldn't need 15, 20 market researchers on staff any longer, maybe just one. Right? Inside sales, cold outreach, AI can do all of that for as a starting point, right? Sales data analysis, CRM data entry, lead qualification, report generation, all of that can be automated. But once that AI gets to a certain point, you're still going to need salespeople to go in and close those things out. So agencies that vet for human skills that AI can't replace is going to be what's going to make your agency ahead of the curve. Now, I have a client last year. I won't call her out because I know she's watching. I love you, and I won't say your name because just in case you don't want to be called out. I already know how you are. But we started building out her IT sales staffing agency. And I was telling her that this is one of the better markets to get into because companies are going to be hiring. She has not done anything with the business. Y'all show her some love and in the comments and say, you can do it. You got this. Don't give up. Don't stop. Because sometimes people get discouraged, right? But right now, if you are in the sales space and you love technology, I'm trying to tell you right now, that's where it is. Now, that's not to say healthcare sales, wine sales, car sales, any type of human sales is going to work. But I just want to let you know that sales is an area that you can absolutely thrive in this business model. Okay. Now, Mission Valley Mafia, shout out on X, says safest job is tech sales. There's no AI that can drink 15 whiskeys with customers, then find the best in Vegas. Okay, I just gotta say it, right? Now, let's talk a little bit about blue collar data centers, the ironic winners of the AI revolution. Ooh-wee. The ironic twist, AI is making physical work more valuable, not less. The exposure for construction is 0%. For installation and repair, it's low. For grounds maintenance, it's low. Boom, data center construction, let's get it. Okay, now someone has to build, cool, maintain, and secure the infrastructure that AI runs on. Trades are the new gold. Now, I'm not going to lie, before I get into this section, I already feel a little funky about it, even though I wrote it. I feel a little funky about it because data centers are ruining our environment. There's no question about that, period. Okay. However, the billions and trillions of dollars that are being invested into AI right now, these data centers are going up and they don't seem to be stopping. I think I saw recently 4 data centers across the country are in the plannings of being built over the next couple of years. And that's just right now. And they are employing a lot of people for the build of the center. So if you are in a niche market where you're looking at construction, or you're in electrical engineering or installation, or, this is where you're going to make so much money right now, because these data centers are going up. And I'm not saying those are the only jobs, but I'm just letting you know that data centers are the new factories. Okay. Every AI model needs physical infrastructure. Data centers are being built at record pace. Jobs that data centers need are electricians and HVAC specialists, network cabling technicians, security personnel, construction workers for build outs, cooling system engineers, physical infrastructure maintenance, emergency backup system operators. Staffing agencies that can place skilled trades in data center projects are sitting on a gold mine, and you will be around for a very long time. All right. Now, Bitcoin only please at TG_destroyer says, ironically, AI is going to make more people do manual labor. And Iffy_shake says, AI proof of work right now is basically, can you lift it, fix it, pour it, or touch grass with clients? All right. Now, the staffing agency play. How staffing agencies become the most important business in the AI economy. This is important because the evolution is here. The old model was, we find people for your open seats. It was transactional, replaceable, and anybody can do it. The new model is, we design your human plus AI workforce. It's strategic, it's irreplaceable. Only the smart ones pivot. Are you a smart one? Will you be bold enough to pivot if you need to? That's the question. We used to tell companies how many people they need. Now we tell them what combination of people plus AI they need. That's not a new service. That's the evolution of staffing itself. Okay. Now, this is the quiet rehiring pipeline, what's really actually going to happen. So, and we see this now happening with Block. Like, Block just laid off a whole bunch of people. We saw the same thing. I can't think of the name of the company. I think they were like a learning AI company, a learning company. They got all of these people to train the AI, implemented the AI, fired everyone, and then rehired them quietly. Okay. So let's talk about what's happening, because this is going to be the most important catch of this whole presentation. What's really going to happen? Companies panic, adopt AI, and cut the head count, right? So they say, oh my gosh, we got to get AI in here. Let's cut everybody. Then they realize that AI can't handle all of the messy human coordination, and they need to quietly bring people back, right? But they're not going to post those jobs on LinkedIn because they're going to be too embarrassed after they announced their big layoff and the stock markets did whatever. They're going to go through agencies. Ding, 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 ding. Let it click in. Come on. Let it click. Come on. Come on. I can see your brain turning. I can see the wheels turning. Let it click. Yes, they're going to lay a bunch of people off. They're going to lay a bunch of people off. And then everything's going to fall apart. And they're going to realize very quickly that they need to bring those people back, or bring people back. And the easier way to do it, the most economical way for them to do it, is to do it through the staffing agencies, because a lot of them are not going to know how long they're going to keep the people for one. But for two, a lot of those people aren't going to come back because they're going to feel upset that they got let go. So you are the saving grace. This is where you've got to get your mind right, because they are coming and they're going to need you. Now, 3 skills that every worker needs right now, what agencies should be vetting for. And I told you this earlier: AI communication. Can you articulate what you need to an AI? Can you prompt effectively? Can you talk to an AI that gets things done? This is the new literacy, period. AI quality control. Can you tell when AI output is wrong? Can you QA its work? Can you catch the 20% of errors that make the other 80% useless? This is the skill that separates the replaceable from the irreplaceable. And I'm going to tell you something right now. AI messes up. Like, when I'm doing large projects and, with AI, I've learned so many things that it cannot do. Just like and ways that you need to communicate with it in order for it to accomplish what you need to accomplish. But one false move, if you're not reading and reviewing and catching then that one false move will screw everything up that you've designed. And that one small thing, it's terrible, actually. So you've got to be able to have that AI quality control. And then human coordination. You got to be able to manage the messy, complicated, emotional work of getting humans and AI systems to work together. This is the job of the future. This is the job of the future right now. Okay. And I'm going to tell you right now, more companies are looking for that than anything. Can you manage the messy, complicated, emotional work of getting humans and AI systems to work together? Okay, so I want your mind, I hope your mind is popping, thinking like, oh my gosh, I could do this, I could do that, I could do, that's really where I want you to be right now. Now, what staffing agencies should do right now? You got to add AI skills assessment to your vetting process right now. Okay. I want you to start training your recruiters to identify AI ready candidates right now. All right. You want to start advising clients on human plus AI workforce design. If you need help with that, please reach out to me at Staffingpreneurs Academy. I can help you position yourself appropriately, give you the training you need so that you can show up right for these organizations. For automate your own operations with AI, walk the talk, right? And again, if you're not sure, please reach out. I can walk you through this entire process. But now you want to also position your agency as a workforce strategy partner. All right. Not just a staffing partner, but as a workforce strategy partner, and let them know that you understand that that they want to integrate AI, and they do. But they're looking for somebody to be able to help them to understand how to integrate it, what roles need to be automated, who needs to be let go, who needs to stay, how they need to be set up, what platforms to use, all that great stuff. That's where you come in. And then build relationships with data center and infrastructure companies, because why not? You want to go and you really should do that, because when you build the relationships with data and infrastructure companies, you now understand who's hiring, where hiring needs to go, and so forth in that space and in the surrounding areas, and then specialize in the roles AI is making more valuable. Now, the agencies that move now, they're going to be the ones that own the next decade. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of the big agencies that you see right now, they don't understand what's going on. They're going to be out of the picture much faster than what you can ever think of. One more thing I want to tell you, I forgot. We're building something that sits right in the gap between capability and adoption. So you want to stay tuned, especially my folks on X. I'm definitely going to be streaming live this week to show y'all what I built. Y'all your minds are going to be like, boosh, like that. You already know. When I get quiet, y'all already know that I'm testing. I'm working and testing when I get quiet. So I'm really excited about sharing that with you. Now, Matthew Ari on X says there's some merit to the study. Even so, many companies end up quietly rehiring the people they lay off. AI is not a silver bullet. I concur. Your move now, you've got 3 paths, 1 decision right now. And that is 1, you should start your own staffing agency. If you're a nurse, healthcare worker, professional, I don't care if you're a nurse, you're a healthcare worker, you're IT, you're light industrial, you're hospitality, legal, there's opportunity for you as well. All of those areas, we teach you how to start from zero. Visit staffingpreneursacademy.com. You could also reposition your staffing agency right now. If you already have an agency, but you're stuck, you're not growing, we can help you scale for the AI era. Any client that I'm working with now, once we build the base, we're integrating AI. In some of my clients, we're integrating AI in the base. Right from the very beginning. Some of them, we build the base out, we integrate the AI depending on what their vision is for the future. But this is the future, and AI is the future, period. And this is not just the future, it's here. Also building AI technology. You see the opportunity, you want to build AI powered solutions. We can show you how. We do a boot camp once a month. You can go to unleashyourideas.com, register for the next upcoming boot camp, get involved, learn AI in a way you never have before. Listen, y'all already know I'm all about y'all starting your staffing agency. We can create our own future, right? We don't have to allow other people, they to define what our future is. We can we can define our future, we can build it, and we do that one placement at a time. The AI revolution is creating the biggest opportunity in staffing history right now. I don't want you to watch from the sidelines. I want you to get in. So I need you to book your call. Let's build. The opportunity is 100% here. The gap between that blue line and that red line is where the money is, which is why I wanted to start this presentation out with showing you the chart, because that's actually where you should be, period. That's where you should be. No question about that at all. Now, I want you to drop your questions in the chat. Let's talk about your industry. Let's talk about your agency. Let's talk about the next move. I hope you are all in. What's going on? Okay. Now that I've given y'all my presentation, because I have to start off with the presentation. Now I can talk to you a little bit more one-on-one. This was very important. I wanted to get all my thoughts out. That was the first thing. I wanted to get all of my thoughts out, get it in the presentation, so I make sure I didn't touch on anything. But I also want to make sure that you understand that things are changing. People are calling me and they're like, Dee, if all the jobs are going away, will staffing still live? Hell yeah. Dee, if all the jobs are going away, what will I staff? You can probably still staff a lot of the same things you're staffing right now, but there's an AI element and an AI twist that has to be there. And right now, you are going to be on the cutting edge when you start screening candidates for their AI expertise and their skills. And believe it or not, there are people all over the world, all over the globe right now that are gung-ho, knees in, feet, knees, everything in deep in this AI space, okay? And they're nurses and they're doctors and they're lawyers and they're car salesmen and they're tech junkies and they're all of these different things. They're bakers, they're chefs and all of these different things, but they love AI and they have this skill behind them. But nobody that's interviewing them is asking them, are you working with AI? Are you doing vibe coding? Have you done any prompting? How do you use AI on a daily basis? Do you use it for work? Do you use it for a business? You've got to really get in and start talking to your candidate base to see what gems you actually have right there in your market. I was so proud. I told y'all that my cousin came in from Vegas to celebrate my birthday. My 49th birthday this year was a couple of months ago, but anyway. And we were talking. He was like, cuz, do you remember last year you were saying that people who don't use AI and their jobs are going to probably be displaced? I said, yeah. He said, well, I've been using AI in my job and it has changed my entire life. And he started telling me all the things that he does. And he's into, he works with, what is it? So it's not IT or anything like that. He's in like I want to say inventory management, but safety management, right? So working in big companies, making sure they're safe and with the products that they have physically on staff. So that's not a healthcare or IT or anything like that, but he realized that in keeping that inventory and doing the things that he's responsible for doing, he can use AI to help him become more efficient and change processes and different things like that. He has become a valuable asset, not just for that company, but for his future. I don't know if the company knows that he's doing that, but when they go to look for someone, or he's gonna stand out, right? And so it's really important that you're looking for people with those skill sets right now. But I'll take it a step further. You should be diving into AI even more. A lot of my clients that I'm working with and I'm talking to on a consistent basis, they're saying things to me like, Dee, I'm not tech savvy. Stop saying that. I don't care if you are or not. Stop saying that. You're in 2026. There's no reason for you not to be tech savvy. All you got to do is start talking to the AI, right? Dee, I'm not really using AI. Oh, I didn't know I could use AI for that. I know we're used to using our brains and you should still use your brain, but the brain power that you have, if you partner with AI, it will increase what you already have and you'll become a little bit more valuable if you do it the right way. I'm not telling you to tell AI to do your job for you. You still have to think, you still have to provide it with guidance, you still have to show up with your expertise. And actually, if you show up as your real self in that way, AI will start to respect you a little bit.
my engagements with Claude sometimes are very interesting. He'll say, D, I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not gaslighting you or anything. I just got to ask you this question. Did you come up with that? Because that, da 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 da. And that's amazing if you came up with that because da 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 da. And, you start to see that you even bring more value than what your employer would have ever been able to show or what you might have been able to know. AI kind of brings that out of you. So you got to be using AI every day as a business owner, in your personal life and in your work life. You want to use AI so that you can start to understand it. And then I also want you to also be thinking about how you're going to incorporate it in your staffing agency from a training perspective. Are you going to be providing training for your market? Are you going to get your market up to speed? Like a lot of the larger agencies, your Ronstads, your Manpowers, they all should be implementing some type of AI training programs in order to stay ahead of the game, creating some type of AI technology for their niche markets. I'm not trying to give people ideas, but this is the future. And you're either going to create the future, ride the wave of the future, or be left behind. I really want you to be a part of creating the future, right? And at least, if not the whole entire future, making sure that you're creating and sustaining the future for you, your family, and your legacy. That's the least you can do, right? All right. This was fun. I'm coming back this week. Don't worry. I know I've been off, but I'm really ready. I think I've implemented everything I need to implement to play with you all a little bit more. These days you can find me on X. I'm not even gonna lie. I've kind of moved around. I've been on X like crazy. YouTube is still my home base. I love YouTube and LinkedIn. I'm still here. I'm not on Facebook or Instagram anymore. So you cannot find me there anymore, but you can find me here. So come and hang out with me. We've got a lot to cover, a lot to go over. Get your AI hat on, your AI thinking caps on. I really appreciate y'all. This is where it is. This is where we are, where we're going. I'm so proud to be on this journey with y'all. I'll be back. Let's go.
Unleash your ideas. No time to wait. Build your dream. Don't let it escape. From the vision to the code, from the thought to the sale, you've got the fire. Now set your trail. 'Cause empires rise where ideas ignite. This is your moment. This is your life.